what's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 2, The Flash CW show of the podcast with Ghost Puma. So, talking about The Flash CW show. What do you think of
Ah,
it overall as a show throughout its 9 seasons?
I think it's a very, very good show. I really like Grant Gustin as the Flash. Ezra Miller, in my opinion, is a sellout. But um, Grant Gustin really played it well. They had like really good storyline for most of the season, so I liked it. Now I know your thoughts are probably biased as hell, but let's hear them.
Me, I love The Flash. I love this TV show. This is one of my favorite shows. I've watched it since it came out. It the first, I don't know, 4 seasons, absolutely loved them. Love the storytelling on them, and love the main villains. But as we went on throughout the series, I did think it started to hit a point where it started to get bad with the writing and with the
I think it
characters.
left. Yeah, I think it left more to be desired in that, right? I mean,
Yes.
honestly, there was a lot of storylines that I think, not really storylines, but I think there was a lot of writing that I feel like was rushed just to like start pumping out like episodes and stuff like that. I feel like Godspeed really got like, I don't know, gypped.
Yeah, I don't think he wasn't like the comics and everything. I feel like he got used too too quickly in and out of the show almost, compared to like some of the other speedsters especially that got their time. Reverse Flash, Zoom, Savitar. They all got like a
Oh,
full season
Savitar.
explaining everything around them. And they were
I
really
hon-
good stories.
I honestly think it's fucking insane that Savitar literally was a time remnant and just wanted revenge ever since then. After he was like, I don't know, sacrificed maybe is the best way to put it.
Yeah. After that, you want he's was ready for his revenge and waiting. He had everything planned out.
He was literally a side character and then became one of the main villains of the show. That blows my friggin' mind.
The way they did him was awesome. I love that season. It was such a great season with all the twists and
I
everything. And then when you find out that it was actually like Barry Allen and it was a time remnant, that was cool. Even though you could kind of guess it was him.
no, yeah, definitely probably one of the better like seasons to come out had to be the one with Savitar. I mean, the I wouldn't say wouldn't that technically be CGI? I don't know, but the way that they made like him look when he was like dragging Barry through like freaking, I don't know if it was timelines or like different portions of the world, like blew my friggin' mind because it's like you see how fast Barry Allen runs and then you see the level that Savitar is on, and it's fucking baffled me.
I know, to even Barry, it's a blink of the eye.
Like Savitar is the speedster. Like that just, it was crazy to me. Crazy.
That CGI too was really, really good.
Very good.
That was a problem too with the later seasons, and I feel like they
They got
really
sloppy.
messed up with that is the CGI. There were some episodes that were amazing with it, and they looked great, but most of them look really bad.
You know what I could straight up tell you right now that you'll probably still remember?
What?
The supersonic mega punch.
Yes.
When Barry like freaking ran, I don't know, what was it, Mach 2 to like freaking like punch his high school bully?
Was I'm pretty sure it was Mach 2 at the time because it was the first season.
Yeah, and he didn't even have The hell is that thing called again? I just had it on the tip of my tongue. The tachyon enhancer. He didn't have that yet, I don't think.
No, he wasn't using that at the time because it was still Dr. Wells. He wasn't pointed out yet as the Reverse Flash.
Yeah, and I the amount of fucking Harrison Wells and Eobard Thawnes in that show it doesn't aggravate me as much as it does confuse me. But like yeah, like I did start to understand that there's like so many other timelines and stuff like that. But like, don't you know what I mean? Like there was one that spoke French. There was one that killed Barry's mom. There's the one that got like what bodied by the time wraith.
But remember though, that Harrison Wells that killed Barry's mom was actually Eobard Thawne.
No, I know that, but like my point still stands. How many Eobard Thawnes were there? Freaking like 2, right?
I think by the way they did it, yeah, there was only 2.
Yeah, and I don't know. I thought fuck, what was I gonna... when going back on the Eobard Thawne, when he went to go kill Barry's mom again, and then realized that well, not kill Barry's mom, but he went to go kill Barry. When they went back in time again, he realized that Barry's mom's death is a fixed point, and nothing will change that. Nothing he can do will change that.
Yes.
That's what blew my friggin' mind.
I remember that because of what he was talking it was during the firestorm time when it was Ronnie and the professor.
Yep.
And he went with the professor to actually talk to him about the theory of time travel and everything. And he even explained to it that there are fixed points that cannot be changed. But
And
he even thought he still could do it because I remember him going back in time once, not doing it. Then the second time, he does do it. And he saves his mom, and that completely changes everything.
yeah, that was ugh. I like I don't know why I got like frustrated with it, but like at the time, watching that like show when I was like younger, when it first came out, and seeing like I don't know, I guess you could say how stubborn Barry was about wanting to save his mom so badly and like learning that he could run back in time and then losing his powers, I was like, "Oh my god. Like this is so frustrating." But then at the same time, it's all there to build like the rest of the show and there's a lot of things that will change from then on out and like Barry always got his speed back if it was in 1 episode or 2 episodes like he always did.
Yes, I remember I've watched this series probably 10 times. I'm a huge fan of it. And watching moments back where he loses speed always frustrated me because in the comics, he's supposed to be the fastest man alive. And the way he loses sometimes is to the stupidest of reasons.
Then I'm sitting over here and I'm like, bro, if I had super speed, do you really think I'd want to give it up?
Oh, I know. All right, I gotta
That
ask now.
hmm.
Oh, wait, unless you have anything else to go on with this.
I was just gonna talk about something else, but we'll save that towards the like to the later part of the podcast so I can complain about it.
Oh, okay. Here's a good one. Which is your favorite season or seasons?
I would say my favorite seasons is the season. I don't know the numbers exactly, but the seasons with Zoom. I think Zoom is the most badass speedster there is.
Season 2?
Yes, season 2.
Oh,
Like the
okay.
season, and then like his appearances in the other seasons as well. like every time I see Zoom, I get happy because he is like, I feel like they did him so damn well that he looks like that he even looks like a badass villain. Like he talks like it, he like walks the walk basically, if that makes sense. Like he is a villain. You can tell he's a villain.
Yes.
With Godspeed, you're like, who the fuck is that?
And his costume design was sick too.
Oh, just probably the best costume design I've seen.
That was
Like
awesome.
I would love a replica of that suit just to like have it in my room. Like like his mask and the way that it moved and oh my god, dude,
That w-
such a good villain.
that was a season too where their CGI, another season where the CGI was on point. I remember when Zoom killed Barry's father, and watching that fight between the two was insane. The way they're moving, how fast they're moving, their bodies being thrown,
No,
and then
yeah, it's insane.
yeah, and then finding out Zoom wasn't even really like fighting him. It was another one of him that he pulled out, and then he kills him because Barry wouldn't do it.
That is just that's a badass villain. Like anybody that needs to learn how to do a villain, just go and watch that show. Go and watch that season. Go watch those episodes. Like Zoom is peak supervillain in my opinion. Like Savitar's cool and all. Godspeed is a wimpy little girl. I mean, in my opinion, I think Godspeed was just done so dirty.
Yeah, I don't think
Um,
they did Godspeed right.
and I'm not gonna lie, the Reverse Flash got boring, but Zoom never got boring. Like it was always intense when Zoom was there. At
Yes,
least in my opinion.
I will say I have a hard time picking my favorite season. I know my top three are one, two, and three. The first three seasons, with every season having a major villain as a speedster. Season one was Reverse Flash, then you had two with Zoom, and then three with Savitar. But it makes it, for me, it makes it so hard to pick because I love the way they all led up to each other, story wise. They all fit in with each other. And then they all came back, like you always came back to like a season kind of with learning something.
Yeah, and then it's just like especially after being able to learn like some of the lore behind the Flash in general and then seeing like the show like blows my mind because when I was a kid I was like, all right, this is just a superhero show. I never really thought about it in depth, you know what I'm saying? Like I was sitting down watching the show like and like I'm using my brain and like my head as a figure of speech here like in the form of a house because it's funny. So like literally, I'm sitting there watching the show. The fucking lights are on, showers running, sinks on, the doors wide open, and the criminals are just walking through. Like that's literally what my head was like. And now that I actually know some of the lore of the Flash, now I understand. All right, so Zoom, Black Flash, same person. Um, Reverse Flash, Harrison Wells, Eobard Thawne. Eobard Thawne. Like it all started like clicking and like making sense the more I actually looked into everything that it was about.
Yep. I had to watch during the time even when it first came out, I was already watching a lot of oh, I might get the channel wrong, but I think it was like Comic Storian. There's one of the comic book channels that does like the full reads of the comics and then like the story. So if there's like multiple chapters or multiple books to that story, he'll do like all of them at once. And I did a lot of like watching and listening to those to know the characters in even more depth than what I already know from the show. Because and still after learning them from the comics and knowing that like some of the things are different, I still really enjoy the way the show did it. especially compared to the movie. The movie would. I was excited to see the movie because it was a Flash movie, and it was the first movie in a while from the Flash. But
Yeah.
it was bad. The CGI was awful. It looked like he was running in place. It wasn't like the Flash's CGI where you had like the lightning coming off of him. His feet were moving rapidly. It wasn't slow mo. He was quick. And then those fights were so cool because it was all done perfectly in like CGI, especially in the early seasons. Watching him fight, you see everything. Even when he went back in time and fought himself, that fight was sick in the TV show. And I feel like in like
Yeah.
the movie when they try to like, obviously it's a different take on the Flash and for the story, but it didn't come out right at all. Everything looked terrible on that, especially the suit. I do not like that suit compared to Grant Gustin's suit with the golden boots. That suit was
Yeah, it kind of
awesome.
looks fun.
That reminded me like exactly of the comic book suit.
No, it was a very good suit. I was thinking about all this other stuff. Freaking going back to what you were talking about when you said we're talking about your favorite seasons. What were your favorite episodes?
Ooh, if I had to like, if I had to think about it from each season, from season two, and now I don't remember the episode numbers, but from season two, there's two episodes that I know of. One, the fight with Zoom at the end, when Barry makes a time remnant and beats him in that race,
Yeah.
and then when he in the episode where Zoom breaks Barry's back and drags him around town
I
because he
would
looked like a
say.
complete menace.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's freaking Zoom. Best villain in the show. 100%. But I would have to say that my favorite episodes would have to be the ones where it was a collab with Green Arrow. Those were, in my opinion, were some of my favorite like
Oh, are you not talking about
episodes.
ones from seasons? Like our favorite seasons?
No, I was just talking about them in like your favorite episode in general because I really like the ones with when they play each other. When him and Green Arrow link up with each other and go and do
Oh, then yeah, I would
all the things.
100% agree with those. I thought we were talking about like our favorite seasons episodes from there, but if we're talking about in general, those episodes are awesome. Especially the Crisis on Infinite Earths, where you had to where every CW show at the time had an episode for it.
Yeah,
It was
no,
Flash, Supergirl, Green Arrow.
that was the coolest shit ever.
Yeah, and then seeing all those characters come together. Like I love the Arrow. I've watched the Arrow before. I've really enjoyed that. I'm just a huge fan of the Flash more. So I've watched the Flash a ton more than the Arrow, especially with the rewatches. And in Supergirl, I really enjoyed Supergirl as a
I
series.
didn't I didn't watch Supergirl too much. I did definitely play a little bit of I definitely did not play, but I did watch a decent amount of the Green Arrow show. That was a very good show in general. Um, I would 100% say that I think that The Flash ultimately was probably one of my like go-to shows to watch back when the CW was blowing up with all these superhero shows and stuff. But I do like all the collaborations that The Flash did with all these other TV shows. I felt like it was very good. It all made sense and they made the storyline so perfectly. it's like I'm a big Marvel fan myself, but it's not like Marvel would have been able to replicate something on that scale. They would have fucked it up somehow.
I know. And they were the ones with the first like out of like the movie verse. They knocked it out of the park with doing what is it, like the first big team in like a movie with the Avengers. They had that as a success versus like their TV shows, I feel like.
Yeah.
Especially at the time the Flash was out compared to what Marvel had out. Those were awesome. But I remember they had a couple of good shows too on Netflix, like Punisher and what is it? Luke Cage. They just, I feel like they never really turned into like a universe themselves. But I never watched them fully to know.
Yeah. But you know what I was just thinking of now that we're talking about collaborations between the shows?
What?
Remember when Eobard Thawne fucked up the timeline and like fucked with everything? So then Barry was the Reverse Flash and Thawne got with Iris and was the Flash?
Yes, I do.
That was fucking crazy. Absolutely insane.
Oh
I
my
never
gosh.
thought that they would actually do something like that, and that was a crazy ass episode. Like wasn't it like 1 or 2 episodes? No, it had to have been
I think it
one.
was
I
three
can't
part.
even remember. Three
It was either
parts.
two or
Okay,
three part episode. I remember
that
watching
was
that.
that was damn good.
That was insane. I love the how Barry Allen too. He tried to take or do his best to be a Reverse Flash to get back to fix the timeline. And when I forget his name. Um
Oh, that motherfucker! I know what you're talking about now.
oh my gosh. Hold on.
I can't remember his name, but he's from that villain TV show that the CW had out. Um,
Um oh my gosh. Hold on. I'm looking this up browser right now.
I was trying to look it up, but I didn't know where to start. Um, but shit, what a crazy, crazy show.
Oh my
I mean,
gosh, yeah.
ultimately, probably one of the better shows that we have out there right now. Are people gonna complain and say that I'm wrong? Sure, yeah, whatever. I don't really care though, because at the end of the day, fuck it. I like what I like, and I'll do it again. I don't care.
Oh my gosh, I can't remember his name, but I will put in a picture of him at this point
You're
so you guys can
you're
actually
gonna
see
put
who I'm talking about.
you're
But
gonna put in a picture.
yes, I can't
Oh
I
my
can't
god.
find his name. I can't figure it out for the life of me at the moment. But that when he found out that Barry wasn't a true Reverse Flash and like started strangling him and was like, "Who are you?" And he said, and he, like Barry explained to him, like Eobard Thawne did this. He took my life and everything. I found it like crazy how that he managed to accomplish all of that to the point where like even this villain, he looked at like Barry and he was like, that's cold. That's evil.
Yeah, like that's some bullshit.
And then he helped him get back because in the regular timeline where Barry's the Flash, he died, but his daughter survived. I believe it was. But at the timeline they were in now, he didn't have the daughter. And once he
Yeah,
found that out, he immediately started saving him.
And you know what else is like crazy to me?
What?
Is that all that shit happened and like that was just like I think that ultimately at the end of the day that was probably one of the most insane episodes that I've watched of that show. 'Cause it was just such a cool concept. Nobody fucking thought about doing that. Nobody did.
Yep.
And then they did it. And it came out way better than anybody thought it was going to.
I do have to put this in now. Scrap the picture. I did find his name. His name is Damien Dark. I
Ah,
finally figured it out.
okay.
It was on the tip of my tongue. I just couldn't remember.
But now let's talk about villains. Who
Yes.
was your favorite villain from the show?
Now we're just talking about not including crossovers for this.
We won't count crossovers because there's just so much there to unpack.
Okay. I know. Favorite villain. Um, I'd be stuck between three, and I think it'd be the first three seasons again, where it's Reverse Flash, Zoom, and Savitar. And I think I would put it in that order too.
Yeah, no, dude, mine is just straight up all the way Zoom. I don't need to fucking think about it. I think Zoom is arguably the best villain that they have in that show. And to be quite honest with you, like the other ones are really cool and all, but like I felt like anything was going to be mediocre compared to Zoom. Like the way that they did Zoom was so good that it's just I don't I can't imagine how they'd be able to replicate something so amazing as that. It was art.
I
And
just
maybe I'm
have a
just a
hard
kiss ass.
time picking because I do like Zoom. I love Savitar because of the story. That's one man thing, it's because of his story. But Reverse Flash is so iconic, and the way he did his season made Zoom look like he was a copycat in the sense of manipulation wise. Like being another one that's like, oh, I'm your friend. I'm Jay Garrick from Earth 2. I'm the Flash. And he wasn't the whole time. I always saw that manipulation thing almost like a take of Reverse Flash, but at the same time, the way Zoom was done was so good. It was so interesting. It really made him like a menace. He was
It was
evil
just
on a different level.
it was beautiful work. I'm
Yes.
telling you, I can't tell you or explain to you how much I love this Zoom story.
It
It
just
was just
the teachings
amazing.
from the Reverse Flash and stuff. I love those too. That's the problem. It's like when it was the first season, you're first getting introduced to this character from the show, the CW. The way they did him was like perfect with moving up the ladder every time. I thought some episodes or like sometimes it kind of seemed like how couldn't he beat that? He is the fastest man. He should be able to do that without an issue. But other times it was kind of like he just hearing the way Ebert Dong talk to him about phasing, for instance. Like you feel the breeze, feel the wind, and everything, and he's
Yeah.
describing it because he is the Reverse Flash and he knows exactly how it feels. Or even in like it was either the first episode, I think it was the first, where he was running and he was going after the rocket, and he almost got up to run after him and save him because he knew if anything happened to him, there was no way he could get home to his time.
Yeah, like I can understand how you you would see that as like, you know, I could see how you would see that. Like, basically, is what I'm trying to say. I can understand that. But I just don't know. I think, in my opinion, that it goes from Zoom versus Flash Savitar for me. I think that Zoom was just too perfect. It was just too perfect.
Like that
I don't know how
Homelander
to
meme.
explain it.
Perfect. It was perfect.
Oh God, don't even get me started on the boys. Um, Now here's something that I wanted to talk about. I won't make it take too long, but it has to be brought up.
Okay.
What the fuck were we thinking about Ezra Miller? When was he ever a good option for this TV show?
I have no clue. Oh, you
I
mean the
mean, for
movie?
the movie, not TV show, but the
He wasn't an episode.
movie.
He technically was an episode of the show.
I don't even want to
When they
think
did the
about Ezra Miller
multiverse
being
thing
in
and
it.
they like saw each other. But I always thought the one thing I always thought that was weird is during the time of Grant Gustin getting casted as the Flash for the TV show, he got casted soon after for the movie. It wasn't long after. And I never understood why because to this day, like I hope James Gunn's listening because I would love him to cast Grant Gustin as the Flash again. Give him a shot in the movies. He would do amazing. You went with this guy, Ezra Miller, and all he did, and I won't get into like the outside of stuff too much, but all he did was cause problems outside of the movie.
No, yeah.
And then by the time the movie came out, it was so hyped up that when people went to go see it, it was terrible. I thought it was from everyone. You heard how great of a movie this was, and it was awful.
Yeah, it was not really what I thought it was going to be. I mean,
I like seeing Batman, like the old Batman. Love seeing that. That was awesome. That was cool to bring back. But it didn't. Other than that, it really didn't make that much sense. This whole movie. It would have made more sense for him to do a Reverse Flash for that movie. That way, you actually have a, you know what I mean, the mom's deaf and everything. There's something to that all. Or what is it? You do a reset of the universe with his movie, and then you bring in Grant Gustin.
Grant Gustin is just simply better than Ezra Miller.
I don't, dude, I don't know. I've heard from like watching stuff, and I don't know if it's necessarily true in reading articles and stuff, that Grant Gustin and James Gunn have talked about working together in the new DC U universe. But I don't know if he'll get the Flash role back, and I really hope he does. That's like the one
He
character I want to see him as.
he is patented the Flash for himself. Like, he is the Flash. When people think about the Flash, they think about Grant Gustin. It's never ever been about fucking Ezra Miller. I mean, like, that'd be a bad example, but like, I guess it's more of a thing where it's like, don't forget about Grant Gustin. Because so quickly when Tom Holland came on the scene for Spider-Man, so quickly did people forget about Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield because, I mean, not gonna lie, Tom Holland's just a better Spider-Man. In my opinion, I still
Especially
fucking
nowadays.
love all those older movies, but Tom Holland fits that Peter Parker role very, very well. When it's like the same thing where it's like, don't forget about the other guys because they actually made an appearance in that movie, one of those Spider-Man movies that have come out recently, and it's was a banger of a movie.
Oh, the end of the trilogy, or
Yes.
yeah, the end of his
Well,
trilogy.
it was. I think it was something like that. Yeah. But like at the same time, it's like you saw what they did in Marvel with the Spider-Man universe and everything like that, and connecting it all. I'm not saying that that would necessarily be a great idea with Grant Gustin and Ezra Miller, because I just think that the movies were just. I feel like they were so poorly done in the way that the CGI didn't look great in it.
He's not the Flash anymore either.
Yeah, and I don't think he should ever have been the Flash. I think Grant Gustin could have managed doing the movie and the show at the same time. I feel, and like maybe that's me putting way too much of a workload on him, or just like throwing all this crap out here and saying all these things that might not even be true, but I like Grant Gustin more.
Yeah, I would have enjoyed seeing a movie. I would have paid multiple times to go see him in theaters to get that experience because he's one of my favorite actors, especially in like the superhero genre. The only other one that like another big one that compares is like Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. You can't put anyone else in that Iron Man suit now. I
No,
wouldn't I wouldn't
he
watch
is
it.
a staple.
But
Robert Downey Jr. has become a staple in Marvel,
the one
and
thing
it's beautiful.
the one thing you said with the Spider-Man stuff and how they brought back Tobey Maguire and
Andrew
um,
Garfield.
Andrew Garfield, when they both brought him back for Spider-Man 3 or the third one in the trilogy, they were loved so much that people were almost like demanding for Spider-Man 4 from Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's Amazing Spider-Man 3. They wanted new movies for those two characters so bad.
And that's the thing, though, where it's like DC and Marvel did things differently. Marvel had what, 3 different actors for Spider-Man, but all 3 of them were really good. Ezra Miller was a bad idea from the beginning, and I will take that to the grave. I don't give a damn what anybody has to say about it. This has literally nothing to do with him on the outside. He might be a scummy person on the outside, like of like the theater world and stuff. I don't care. He can be a scumbag all he wants. I think that he was not fit to play the Flash the way that Grant Gustin is.
No. Grant Gustin, I remember watching like his final little videos and stuff about the Flash and like watching the season 9 finale and everything and watching what he had to say with the send off and everything. He seemed like he truly, and I know it's probably with everyone around him too, and over those years, you really built a good friendship with everyone, your co stars, the directors. I mean, everyone on that crew. He probably built a great relationship with them all. But at the end of that, letting that go must have been like so heartbreaking to say it's done and that's it with the show.
Yeah, no, it must have been really like I fucking think it's gut wrenching.
Especially with
But
all the work he put
oh
in and how much it seems like he really cared about the fans and how they liked the show too. And he felt so bad when it ended and stuff because he knew people wanted a season 10 and an 11 and a 12.
yeah, and ultimately, George, what I can tell you is that there are some people that are made to play these heroes. Like literally, there are some people that are made to play the heroes. And like how Robert Downey Jr. was Iron Man, and Steve Rogers. No, well, not
I
Steve
can't
Rogers,
remember
but
his actual name.
I can't remember his actual name either. But um, I just had a brain fart there. That was a rough one. But how he would always be Captain America, like those are like this, like the faces of the franchise, and those will never change. I think, in my opinion, that he like that Grant Gustin is a staple and that he should have stayed as the main Flash.
Yep. And that cast would have been really good too, because at the time, for those movies, for especially for Justice League, even though it wasn't, I didn't like Josh Whedon's. I did like Zack Snyder's version of the Justice League. But
Yeah.
imagine you had Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, Ben Affleck as Batman. Um, oh, I'm forgetting the cyborg character, but he was such an amazing actor. He was a good one too. I Ray Fisher, I think it is.
I have no idea.
If you can look that up, I'm kind of curious.
Cyborg from the Justice League, right?
Yes, and then you had Aquaman, who was Jason Momoa. Talk about a great casting. And then you would have. Oh, if you got rid of Ezra Miller, you would have had Grant Gustin. These would have been all staple like characters. Like people would have known all these actors and actresses for these roles.
I think it was Ray Fisher. Pretty sure it was Ray Fisher,
Was
yeah.
it?
Yeah, I think it was.
Okay, I was right on that.
Yep, Ray Fisher, 2017 Justice League Cyborg.
Yes, he was awesome, and they I don't think I forget what it was, but I don't think he will ever do DC again because he didn't like I don't know if he didn't like the movie or something, or didn't like it was how it was done. But he would have been awesome to keep, but I don't think he's a part of the DC universe anymore. He lost like so many great actors and actresses because they weren't used. Like Ben Affleck wasn't really used. Obviously Henry Cavill.
Oh, you didn't have to say it. I'm still pissed off that they dropped Henry Cavill.
I,
That was just such a stupid ass idea.
I will say I'm not happy with it, but this new actor that they have looks like he put in all the work. David
Oh,
Cornsweet.
fuck him! I want Henry Cavill.
I know, but this guy looks like he put in a lot of dedication to this, and I am excited to see. I think that movie, I just was seeing like James Gunn tweet the other day. I think he said it's almost done filming.
Great. Henry Cavill-less. I don't know.
I wish the one thing I do wish is he got a better movie. I wasn't the biggest fan of Henry Cavill's Superman movie because I feel like they
You
made
know
him
what?
more dark than what
I think
Superman
I
should be.
don't like your fucking opinion. How's that?
I just like I like the happy Superman. Like it seems like they're going now. Superman's never
Yeah, but
really a dark person.
look at it like this. If you've ever watched a lot of the cartoon shows, even then Superman had this very dark, very depressing side of him. Where it was just like he did things that weren't, I guess, up to code. Like I don't know if you've seen it, but there has been a clip or a clip that I've seen going around where it's Superman and Batman, and it's from a cartoon. It's from one of the cartoon shows, and they're standing there face to face because Superman killed a man, and Batman was trying to justify how that wasn't a good idea, and how it doesn't really matter what he's done, you still have to bring him to justice and all that sort of shit. And then what happens? Well, Batman is sitting there telling him how bad of an idea it was, and then Superman is like, "Oh, how does what Dick in what's Superman's other apprentice's name?
Superman or Batman?
Batman,
Oh,
Batman,
Dick
Batman,
Grayson
Batman.
and
Dick Grayson and
was it
why
Red
don't I
Hood
wanna,
or was
it
it Robin
had to
Tim
have been
Drake?
it was Tim Drake.
Oh,
Yep,
okay.
that's why I was remembering Tim. It was Dick and Tim. And like that like clip has been going around. That like kind of like whenever I see it, I'm like, damn, that's crazy because like that's literally like everything that's like it's just crazy to think about. I don't know. I
Okay,
think that shit was insane. And
I can explain that. That's not him all the time. That's just one storyline of him. That's when that storyline is based on Joker taking a vacation from Gotham, going to
oh yes, and
Superman's
then
town, killing his wife, making Superman kill Lois, and then he comes in, kills the Joker. Actually, it might have not have been
I
Tim Drake
know.
at the time. It might have been
I
Damian Wayne.
think I don't actually know if he killed Lois though, because I remember seeing another clip of Batman capturing the Joker, and then Joker says something about killing Superman's unborn kid or something, and then Batman kills him in his car and turns himself into the police.
No, Superman does kill him. There is a whole thing around it. It's called the Injustice League. That's why, you know those games?
Yeah,
Those are the Injustice
it's
games,
rank.
what they're based off of. I'm pretty sure there is an alternate, though, where Batman does kill Joker.
There is,
But Batman,
because I saw the clip for it. There has to be.
and everything for Batman, though, I think for the most part, unless it's his evil counterpart. Because remember, there's multiple of them. Like Batman who laughs and stuff. His alter ego. Um, there's so many different freaking Batmans that are evil. But he for the most time has a moral code where there's no killing. If he does kill, it's one of his evil Batmans that does it. So it's him going to that version. There's multiple versions of them though.
Okay, well, like hurt my
Superman though,
head
when
trying
he
to think
does
about this.
kill, that one is it all starts off with the Joker. Because the Joker tricks him into killing Lois. He doesn't purposely do it, but technically he does end up killing Lois because he flies her all the way up to space where she can't breathe, and then her heartbeat stops. Or no, it stops or blows. Stops, I think. I I think she dies though. She does die, and then she had her the unborn child, which passes away too. Superman comes down. He's a wreck. Batman takes Joker to question him on everything. And Joker basically is like, I wanted an easy day for once. I wanted to have fun. And Superman flies through the freaking wall, breaks in, and kills him. And that's when they have the conversation between each other. Then it gets brought up to the Justice League. And Batman says, he said, I'm not staying with this. I'm out. And then Superman starts to be um, like a dictator almost. Controls everyone. All the prisoners locked up into one place, doesn't matter. No second chances. And then like it eventually goes on to like them being in the prison. What is it? Gotham's prison. And Batman's like, you're not taking these guys. And it gets into a huge fight. Dick Grayson dies. Damian Wayne, which is Robin at the time, is the one that killed him. And he didn't mean to. And that destroys Batman.
Yeah.
And it becomes a huge thing where Batman and Superman are against each other because Batman refuses to kill. And now Superman, ever since he's killed, now he has that mindset of everyone's evil. Once you've done something like bad once.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. But I feel like we've went off on a tangent here.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to the second episode of the podcast. I also have new Minecraft shorts and Valorant shorts out now. If you enjoyed the podcast, leave a like and subscribe.